Hey everyone, this is Codemic, and did you notice something new about this episode of Abandoned History? That's right, we have a brand new logo, and I'm using the normal Codemic theming, the intro music on all my videos now, just to kind of keep a consistent branding. Maybe in the future, if the Abandoned History series really takes off some more, I'll give it its own theme song or something, but let's really try to maintain consistency here. Anyway, on to the main video here. Today's topic is going to be the Disneyland rocket rods, the kind of successor to the People Mover, so let's start digging into that. So last time on Abandoned History, we took a look at the People Mover. Now that's the Omnimover style ride that graced the skies of Tomorrowland for about 35 years before it was suddenly closed in the mid-90s. If you haven't watched the previous episode of Abandoned History, do that, and just so you have some more background information. But if you're really feeling rebellious, maybe watch this and then go further back in time to the People Mover, whatever you'd like to do. So if you know anything about Disneyland history in general, you know that the mid-90s weren't the best time in Disneyland history. Management back in that time really was trying to slash the budget in order to make short-term profits, so they closed a lot of the classic rides like the People Mover and the Submarine Voyage, which required a lot of cast members to operate. So with a shoestring budget in mind, Disneyland executives got together and started planning out their rocket rods. They could reuse the People Mover track, modify it a little bit, try to get a corporate sponsor, and have a really awesome thrill ride that could just be a guest eater. Guests would wait in line for a few hours for a decently long ride, and it would keep other parts of the park not as busy. So from the start, the rocket rods really was a strange ride. It followed the exact same track as the People Mover, they didn't modify it at all. Original plans for the ride called for banked turns so it could maintain a constant speed, but because they were never able to get that corporate sponsor like I mentioned before, it really was just penny pinching. They didn't want to put that money into rebuilding a track. So they made the ride vehicle just slow down. You would accelerate and then decelerate and accelerate and decelerate. It was very awkward and it was very stressful on the People Mover platform. And it wasn't feasible. This system, this 40-year-old ride track that wasn't meant to be used as a roller coaster track, wasn't going to handle that, so the ride was constantly breaking down. It went down for a lengthy refurbishment a month after it opened, and it eventually did go down for a short-term, what was supposed to be a short-term refurbishment, but that refurbishment is still going on now, if you know what I mean. So the official opening of the rocket rods was on May 22nd, 1998, and the closing date for maintenance anyway was September 25th, 2000. Now, on the September 25th, 2000, they had signs in front saying it was a temporary refurbishment and an enhanced version would be back sometime in the near future, but on April 28th, 2001, multiple newspapers were saying that the ride wasn't going to close, and Disney did confirm that a little later, that the rocket rods and its current form wasn't going to come back. So if there's one neat thing to take out of the Rocket Rods attraction, it's the line itself to get into the ride, the queue. The line for the Rocket Rods actually housed a lot of old Disneyland attractions. You could see an old monorail car. You could see two of the original rocket jets from the Astro Orbiter style ride that we have today. You could see 4 People Mover cars, so that's actually kind of a neat thing. Disneyland has done that with some other rides, kind of a throwback to it, so you could see the People Mover, the ride that used to be on the Rocket Rods track. The line would also go through the Circle Vision 360 Theater, which was another ride that housed America the Beautiful and the Timekeeper. The Walt Disney narrated video about transportation was shown instead on these 9 screens, this very futuristic 360 screen. So just things like that, just kind of a Yesterland touch to the ride. It could have just been them trying to recycle some stuff they found backstage, but still, I'll give them an A for effort for trying to make at least a decent queue for a ride that typically had about a 2-hour wait. Today the Rocket Rod's building queue, so that line with all the old attractions that I was just talking about, is taken up by Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters, that laser game where you shoot at the targets themed around Buzz Lightyear and Star Command. The tracks are still there as well, but they're empty. I talked more about that in my previous People Mover video, so I won't go too much into that. My predictions for the future is the rocket rods won't come back, but I do think eventually the People Mover will come back as Disneyland needs more capacity, and it's a very simple fix. I mean, I would think so anyway, since the infrastructure's still there. I imagine they would have to replace some rusty track, but other than that, I don't see what's stopping the People Mover from coming back. So that just about wraps up this episode of Abandoned History on the rocket rods, and it's kind of a continuation of the People Mover episode last time, I guess. So if you like this short series on the People Mover rocket rods, please like this video, and again, if you haven't checked out the People Mover video, go ahead and watch that. There's a lot of other episodes in the Abandoned History series on Disney and an episode on Detroit, so if you aren't subscribed already, please do subscribe to the channel. There's content coming every week I try to upload. So this has been Codemic, and I hope you guys enjoy the video, and I'll see you all real soon. I have an awesome idea for the new episode of Abandoned History coming out soon and we're going to be traveling to Walt Disney World, so we're going to mix it up a little bit. So again, don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe, and I'll see you all real soon.